It's still coming. Mic check 1 2 1 2. That's fine. It's okay. Just push it in. Yeah, so, all right. Good day, everyone. Good day, everyone. I'm Simpiwe, and welcome to Simplified RSA, the guys who makes it looks easy. So today I have a question from one of the Unisa students. Let me just switch to there. Great. So I have a question from one of the students from Unisa. I just want to go straight to point without wasting time because this is more like a test video. But then assignment 3 of QMI, it was due on the 19th. That is approximately a few days ago. And it's already been submitted, meaning we can discuss some of the questions without having to worry on whether we will be offending the constitution of the school, like in terms of, I mean, we can't do an assignment for student while they still have, like, that would be some sort of plagiarism of some sort. So I would say you probably, here's the question we have without wasting time. So the question states the revenue in rent for selling set bottles of water is given by the function. There is our function there. Let me just put it down on paper. Actually, let me use pre-paper. Let me use real paper in case I would want to refer back here and there. So I believe everyone got the question, but the question is the function we have is R of Z. I think she took a picture with her phone, the person who asked the question, but I forgot her name, but she did specify her name on the thing, on the email. It's just that now, you see, I'm cooking from the kitchen, so I can't go to the emails and confirm the name, but I got the question, which is what matters. And then we have something of this nature. And the question said, the marginal revenue from selling Z bottles of water is given by 140. Marginal revenue, the weight marginal, like, okay, Sha, let's go straight to point. So the weight marginal, when you hear marginal in any academical related situation, if you hear marginal, they just want you to differentiate. So basically, what they want us to do in this question is they are saying first differentiate, and then you tell us what is the value of Z using the marginal revenue that they give you of 140. So we can question ourselves, what is this 140 that we're talking about? Fine. Like I said, the marginal revenue from selling Z bottles of water, 840. Determine the value of Z. Sharp. So just to break it down for our student, oh, I got the name. The name of the student is Cody. So just to answer Cody's question, what is meant by marginal? It means you must first, marginal means like we have the so-called differentiation. So marginal literally just means you have to differentiate first before you do whatever you do. So like cram work, if you're doing an if you are about to write an exam or preparing for an exam, and then it's QMI or financial maths or whatever exam it could be, and then you hear what, and then the same marginal. Somehow it must go to your mind immediately, like it should be something that has anything to do with exactly what you're supposed to be doing in this case, which is to differentiate, right? So marginal means you must differentiate. So when we hear of marginal, this 140 is not the value of R of Z like that. No, this 140 it's the differentiated R of Z. So 140 is the value of R prime Z. This is the 140. Thing is, I have other videos that I've recorded and saved on our channel. You can just go watch where we explain how do you differentiate step by step. But for now, let's stick to just answering this question specifically, meaning the first thing we must do here, let me go back to, I'm not used to. Right, sure. So we're here. The question they gave us is R of Z is that, and then they said the marginal for selling the water, the marginal for selling Z bottles of water, they gave us is 140. Now, because they stated marginal, the 140 is not the value of the entire function. No, that's what I want us not to say. So now, what we must do is we must first get the differentiation, and then we solve for the entire thing for Z. So now, what is prime of Z? What does the rule say? The rule says, in order to get R of Z from this, it means we're differentiating this, right? So this will be the 2 now. This one now comes in front of the question because we're multiplying the entire thing. So we have 2 multiplied by the very same value. The very same value, 2 multiplied by minus 20Z to the exponent 2, but this time around, since we are differentiating, we subtract 1. Same goes with this one. The next same goes with the next term. It's then going to be remember, any number is to the exponent 1. If you've done your background in terms of preparing for or suppose you are preparing for an exam for this case, always any number to the exponent 1. But we all know that a differential of a variable that doesn't have an exponent, we just look at the constant. We just look at the coefficient of the number attached to it, but then it's fine. Let's do it according to the rule. So this is going to be minus minus this invisible one. Suppose we do it by following the rules. And then this example, this invisible one, it comes in front again of this what's that? Coefficient is. So it's gonna be now 1 multiplied by, it's gonna be 1 multiplied by 500 z to the exponent 1 minus 1. But any number to the exponent, any number where we have a case where it's 1 minus 1, it's going to be to the exponent 0. But any number to the exponent 0, it's going to be just that number. So let me write this properly because now I'm running out of space there. So in other words, what we're saying is the derivative of that, it's going to be this times minus 20, it's going to give us minus 40 z into 2 minus 1 will give us just 1 like that. And then for this one, the top one, since I couldn't get on the other side of the paper, because I can't move my camera around for now, so let's look at it. Let's differentiate from here. Minus 500 to the exponent z. If I take 1 to the other side, I multiply it, and then I subtract the 1 again, it's going to be to the exponent 0. Hence I say any number to the exponent 0 is 0. So we're going to have minus 500 here. Therefore, now we know what the derivative is. And for this case, the 40 that I stated is the derivative value. So in this case, then we look at it in this form. That means then 140 is equals to minus 40 z minus 500. Because that's what they said, the marginal revenue is 140. So we know that we've got the differentiation now. This is the marginal revenue. But we're like, oh, we know the value of the marginal revenue. We know the value of the marginal revenue is actually that value we get over there, which is that. So now we must solve for z only here. Now, then let's go back to the question of interest. The question says, determine the value of z. Just from here, it's like, now, I don't care what grade you're doing, but then if you're a UNISA student, you know how to solve for a variable that is x, but then let's not assume, because I've learned that assuming that people understand things has taught me the other way around. Like, you will never be sure if people do understand or they don't. But however, let's do the things. So if we are to solve this, then we'll have 140 is equals to minus 40 z minus 500. You know, with maths, they always tell us what happens on the right also happens on the left, and so forth and so forth. But then normally I would say, and advise, if you know you are good at this, you can work from whichever side you want. But if you know, like, hey man, I'm still just trying, in this case, it's wiser to always put the variables on the left, and then you put the constants on the right, or any other number. So for this case, I'm gonna take this to this side, and then at the same time, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take this 140 to the other side. Like, let me just interchange the values. Damn, I'm wasting my paper, man. Like, all right. So we have, if I take this to the other side, it's gonna change the sign from a minus 40z to a plus 40z is equals to. If I take the 140 to the other side, since it was a positive, it becomes a minus now. So I have 1 minus 140 minus 500. And then I could simplify this further, but then now that I'm away from the calculator, you can just divide both sides by 40, because otherwise we're solving for z. And then you divide by 40 also here. And then we know that this will cancel that. And then our answer is going to be yield from z is equals to minus 140, or I mean, like, let me just conclude this. So minus 140. You know what? It's wiser to represent the expression. Let me not assume, because now this is recorded. So z is equals to minus 140 minus 500 all over 40, because that cancelled that. So now we have this new case. We just have to get the value now. Then if you punch that on the calculator, then look for a calculator. If you punch that on the calculator, you would get, say, minus I can't get a negative value. But when I go back to the question, because the value that I'm getting is a negative value. When I get back to the question, when I look in between z squared, it's because the picture was taken from your phone, you can see that sign in the middle there. It shows proper that is not a minus, it's actually a plus. So the entire time I've been working with the wrong expression. So here it should have been a plus. What's going to result is going to change the entire story. If it's a plus there, it changes to be a plus everywhere. So also there, it means we're going to have a plus. I've just rectified that. So instead of a minus, of which the problem was for my eyesight of looking at the question, like I said, that image that appears on the, it's a screenshot from a cell phone. So instead of a minus, I thought it was a minus. It's actually a plus on the question. So if you make a mistake from the question, and then it's going to affect the entire value of the problem. So now if I fix that, and then if I calculate the final value is minus 40 plus 500, not minus, then that will be divided by 40, and then it's going to give me 9. And then the value of z that I got in calculating. So let me just go back there. So I got z is equals to minus 140 plus 500, because now I've confirmed that from the question we had made a mistake with the sign. So it's minus 140 plus 500 divided by 40, which gives us a 9. And if we look, when we look at our options, we can see there's an option 9 there. So it's option B, and then voila, and then you get your assignment. So for today, I think I'm going to stop from here. This is simplified. The guys who makes it look easy. Other than that, I'm out. Till we meet again next time. Cheers. Enjoy your day.